it comes to coming up with semi-ramblomatic topics, I usually just go about my daily life reviewing games and chewing bits of wood and wait for my thoughts to settle on something. But this week, for some reason, my thoughts are fixating on the following point. Boy, the main villain's plan in Resident Evil 4 is really fucking terrible. Yes, hardly a point that's going to blow minds. Resident Evil games are badly written, but sometimes these things prey on my nerves, and it feels better to get them out. Plus, it's almost spooky season, so fuck it. There's a scene early in Resident Evil 4, I'm referencing the original here, I don't remember the plot changing too much in the remake, but I do remember the characters having much less personality, where the main villain, Sadler, rocking a full Emperor Palpatine cosplay, stops Leon and Ashley in a church and explains his entire plan to mind control Ashley and take over America, her being the president's daughter. And whenever I see that moment, I imagine the following dialogue. I can't do the voices, I'll just do Leon in my normal voice and Sadler in my Emperor Palpatine voice.
Ha ha ha. We have injected a parasite into Ashley that will turn her into one of my mind-controlled minions. We're gonna send her back home and use her to take over the American government. Ha ha ha.
You fiend! How?
How? Why, once I have a willing minion undetected in the heart of the White House...
Undetected until her head explodes and a tentacle sprouts out of her neck hole?
That doesn't always happen.
It happens often enough. Plus, I've met quite a few parasite-infected people since I got here, and none of them come across like they'd blend unnoticed into high society, you know?
Fool, I am in complete control of the parasites. I can simply will the one within Ashley to suppress major noticeable symptoms.
Okay. Are you sure there isn't a maximum range on that? I mean, you'll be here in unspecified European country, and she'll be in Washington. Have you even checked to make sure you can exert control over parasites from that distance? You haven't checked.
I mean, I could probably move.
And in any case, if I were the president, and my daughter had just returned home from a harrowing kidnap ordeal at the hands of a biomutant cult, the first thing I'd probably want to do is give her a thorough medical examination. Is the parasite going to show up on that?
How thorough an examination are we talking about?
She's the daughter of the most important and well-protected person in the world, so pretty fucking thorough, I'd have thought. But okay, let's say, for now, it escapes notice. You've got a possessed minion in the heart of the first family, where she can do what?
The president himself will come under my intoxicate.
She infects the president, okay. But it's not like a zombie virus. It's a parasite. She needs to inject it into him. Are you going to load her down with fully prepped syringes before you send her home? Whoever's investigating the kidnapping's probably going to go through whatever stuff she brings back with her, and you'll be injecting the president with the same kind of parasite she's got inside her now, right?
Well, yes.
And she's been here, what, a day? And hasn't become possessed yet?
The gestation period of the parasite is...
If it's any longer than the time it takes to say, oh my god, my daughter just injected me with something, help, someone give me a medical examination that's, if anything, even more thorough than the previously mentioned one, your plan kind of blows to bits at that point, doesn't it?
Ah, but Mr. Kennedy, you have not yet realized the full extent of my sinister scheme. For you see, we have also injected you with a parasite, and when the two of you return to Washington...
Okay, I guess we're going to gloss over the range limit and medical examination issues. But fine, two possessed minions in the White House backing each other up. I guess that's got better odds. My main question at this point is, why are you trying to stop me?
What?
Your whole plan hinges on sending Ashley home. I came here to rescue her. If you'd let me do that, if you'd just dropped her off on the village outskirts where I'd spot her as I was driving in, we'd be in Madrid airport by now going through the security checkpoint. You would have achieved all your goals. But you've had all your minions trying to pitchfork me and chainsaw my head off for the last 3 hours.
We didn't know you'd come to take her home at first. You didn't present ID.
No one bothered to ask for any, did they? And you know who I am now, presumably, and you're still trying to kill me.
I'm afraid you know too much, Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, I do know too much, because you just explained the entire fucking plan. Now when we escape, I can just tell someone that we've been injected with parasites and we need to be restrained and subjected to exploratory surgery. Even if I get mind controlled before then, I can always pin a note to my chest. If you hadn't just told me, if you'd let us escape, again, we'd have been none the wiser, and your plan would have completely worked.
Yeah.
And if I show up dead or mysteriously disappear, that just brings down further scrutiny. I'm a high-ranking Secret Service agent. America's going to send more guys here to look for me, even if Ashley does get home. Possibly more than one dude next time. Possibly not. I mean, lone government operatives have a weirdly high success rate in this universe.
Mr. Kennedy.
And why did you inject me with a parasite in the first place if you were just going to kill me? And why do you keep trying to kill me in really recklessly violent ways while Ashley's standing right there? Spoiler alert, at the end of this cutscene, a bunch of monks with crossbows are going to run in and haphazardly fire flaming arrows in our general direction, any one of which could easily cause a lethal injury. Even this is ignoring the established point that you kind of need 2 sleeper agents in Washington, so it doesn't make sense to kill either of us.
The thing is, I don't fully control all of my minions all of the time. Some of them only have vague instructions and can tend to be overzealous.
I don't think you're in control of this situation at all. I think you're just making it up as you go along at this point and trying to save face. Honestly, it's not the fact that you're obviously a complete idiot with a dogshit plan that confuses me, really. It's the fact that you're so smug about it.
You amuse me, Mr. Kennedy. The Ashley plan is but a small facet of my grand vision. It was always a long shot. More a side hustle, really. You do not yet comprehend the full extent of
Are you going to turn into a giant monster? Like the last 12 giant monsters you sent after me, all of which I killed. By myself.
Those I would have described as relatively small giant monsters.
Here's the thing, okay? I'm good at killing giant monsters. Like, it's my main skill. The whole reason I was invited to join the Secret Service is because I did a really good job killing a bunch of giant monsters this one time. Bit weird in retrospect, you'd think other qualifications would come into things. I mean, my people skills are kind of for shit.
I'm getting that sense.
Exactly, yeah. I'm actually more anxious talking to you as a person. If you turned into a giant monster now, I'd be more relieved than anything else, you know? What I'm trying to say is, turning into a giant monster would be playing entirely to my strengths. One might even go as far to call it my comfort zone.
Right.
So were you going to turn into a giant monster?
No.
You liar! No. What was it going to be? Giant spider? You seem like a giant spider guy.
No. There are many subtle layers to my diabolical plan. I'm also going to get a little squeaky man dressed as Napoleon to make you ride a bunch of roller coasters. I'll just turn into a giant monster then.
I would, yeah. Oh, giant crab scorpion thing. I was pretty close. This video is brought to you by Shadows of Doubt, the immersive sandbox detective game that's finally leaving early access on PC and hitting consoles on September 26th. Become the hard-boiled gumshoe of your dreams, solving an endless wave of murders across a procedurally generated city. You might recall I broke my own rule of not reviewing early access a while back because I liked Shadows of Doubt so much. It's a great story generator. I fondly remember calling a suspicious phone number, writing down the name of whoever answered, hacking into the phone records to trace the call to a building, poring over the phone book to find names with a matching address, infiltrating an apartment through the ventilation shafts and beating up and handcuffing the occupant, only to find I'd accidentally snuck into the apartment next door. And the full release of Shadows of Doubt will have even more opportunities for me to hilariously fuck up. Version 1.0 launches on PC and consoles on September 26th.
You may have defeated me, but I have one last ace up my sleeve. This entire island has been
Rigged to self-destruct, yeah, I figured. So I'm assuming it hasn't been rigged only to go off after roughly the amount of time it takes to make a daring escape on this conveniently parked high-speed aquatic...
Oh, just piss off.